just to get them out of the way, so when we get in our groups, they'll be in the way. And also, have out your dinner party rubric as well, please. Your dinner party rubric. Hot pink. Kind of bright. Kind of look like this. Thank you. Yeah. Did I miss you, Lily? No. Well, yes, actually, because you're going to keep them in your group folders. Did I skip you, Carl? There's right. There you go. Thank you. Did I stamp you? Yeah. How's that for short-term memory? Do you need one, Carl? Lana, could you take out your rubric, please? Ow! Sorry. Nicole, you need one? Okay. Cole, do you have yours?
I'm pretty sure I do.
All right. Dior. I'm going to go have your rubric out, please.
Wait, doesn't one group, or just like every group has one?
No, everybody has an individual.
Oh, I need another one. I need one. Because I think our group just got one.
Were you gone? Yeah. Okay, please check your backpacks. I've given away several, and this is the second copy. If you are missing yours, see if you can find it, please. All right, everything else is out of the way, off your desk. Did I give you one, Cole?
No.
Just your rubric.
And a pencil. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, here we go. So I know it's been a while since we have had a chance to work on the script. We had a bit of an interruption at the library, and then we were gone for the weekend. So I kind of want to frame things again. Alexis, I need you up here. Thank you. This is the question that we have been working on throughout this unit that we've taken a look at. And the question, kind of our essential question, is how did the new nation experience presidential action that contributed to growth in terms of population, geographic size, and economic power? So we've been talking about this for a while now. What I want to do is kind of reframe that again and talk about what we are going to do. And one of the ways we've done this a number of times, one of the ways we know to try to put this in our own words is to think of maybe synonyms. I want you to think about if you got asked, instead of telling your parents we didn't do anything today, that you could come up with a way that you would word this your own self to explain what was our learning today. Okay, 30 seconds. Talk to your table partner near you, next to you. What would you say? What does this target mean to you?
At first, I never thought of how all the different ways.
All right, let's hear two ideas. We're going to start with Sarah, C3. What would you say if you got asked? What are we doing today in class?
We're learning about, well, especially for mine, I'm learning a lot about the economic power and like industrial revolution.
Okay, good. How about one more thought? What is it you're learning today? Christopher, right in the front, A1.
We're learning about all the significant ways that that America had grew.
Yeah.
And
In those areas.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Good job. Now here's the one I want you to give some thought to. Why is it important that we're doing this? Why? I'm not showing you mine yet. Why is it important that we're studying this? Okay, again with your table partner. 30 seconds.
Everything is the new nation.
All that is like the foundation for like for our government.
All right, two thoughts on this one. it, the why. Why is this learning important today? We're going to go with E4, which puts us at Ripken.
To learn how our nation grew and extended through that.
Through those areas. Good. All right. One more. Why F2 right next to it. Lana, what do you think? Why is it important? And I help her out.
So like we can learn what to do, what not to do, how to impact those groups.
Those areas. Very good. All right. And mine is, which you probably saw a little sneak preview. It's really helping us understand today. We can look at where we are today and we can understand how we grew in those areas, especially geographical size being the big one. We've started with the colonies and we continued to move west, and this helps us understand now what kind of growth we experienced and how we see that today. So good job with that one. You've been working on what I call those expert groups. So we took that big learning target that had all those parts to it, and we broke it down into 4 different lenses or areas of study. You became the expert on that particular topic, whether you had population, Sarah mentioned that, you use those words, I'm learning more about, you had geographic size. No, economic power, right? So you each had a lens that you were exploring and you were becoming an expert. And what was the product you created to demonstrate what you learned about your area of study? What did we create? Your project was called Instagram. Good. So we started with the Instagram project where you demonstrated your learning, your expertise of that particular area. And now we're pulling together in what we call our home groups. And we started that last week a little bit, at least the introduction. That home group is made up of those 4 areas, those experts that are coming together to share with the other team through the product of your dinner party script on what you have learned and to help teach the others about those areas as well. So that's where we are today. I want to give you some specific directions before we move forward on what today's going to look like. So we will continue into our groups to work on your scripts. There's a couple things I want you to think about as we're doing this. Number 2 says, remember only 2 laptops at your table. I'm going to talk about this in just a second because I'm going to amend it just a little bit. But the idea is you have at least 2 screens because you've shared a Word document that you are able to see what's happening. I want to remind you, only one of you should be typing. The others are watching, but you can certainly share the typing responsibility, just not at the same time. There you go. Number 3 is something I want you to think about as well. We've talked about this, and that is making sure as you're collaborating that you are providing the same level of detailed information you did in your Instagram. You're looking for that portion of the rubric that says your historical information is adequately explained to support your evidence. That is your Instagram project. So here's why I said I'm going to amend number 2. Here I told you you can only have 2 laptops, but some of you may have to have your Instagram project in front of you so you can see the kind of detail that you're going to need to add to the script. So I'm okay with you having that open as well so you can reference that as you're actually working on the script. Does that make sense? Okay. Then number 4. We need to make sure you are participating. And by the way, at the end, I'm going to ask you a little exit slip that's going to have you reflect on that today, as well as your content. And there's one other question I'll have. So this is something I want you to pay attention to again. The rubric is on your desk. You have it on that flip side. You need to make sure you're adequately contributing to the group's success. In fact, the language says that you were a significant, I don't think that's the right word, significant member, adequately participated, limited or inadequate. So kind of evaluate yourself as you're going through today's activity. I'm going to ask for some feedback on that at the end, on how your group is doing, how you are doing. And then 5, as you have that academic conversation and as you are working towards putting the script together, that is where we want to try to have those connections between you and your other members of your group to try to weave those activities together. So that's something to think about as well. And that will come as you dig a little deeper and get a little further into your project. How many of you you've started? You've at least created an introduction in your script. Good. And that by far really is the hardest part, is just how do you get started? How do you start that initial conversation? And then once you do that, you'll want to move into your topics. Now, I saw another class before they continued today. They did this really cool little visual for their group about how they were going to move from topic to topic and kind of had a flow chart. So if you haven't done something like that yet to organize your thoughts, and I know some of you have, I'd encourage you to start there so you know what your plan is and how you're going to move from topic to topic. So give that some thought. The one thing I ask right before you get started, your team leader or the person that your team leader designates, would you fill out your goal for today? And it's simply going to be work on the dinner party script. Okay, questions for the good of the order? Okay, go ahead and start moving into your groups. Your folders are up at the front. Sorry. Are you guys orange, Chris? Orange, I think you are. Does that look familiar? What number?
I think Colin. Which number are we?
Remember your group number? Where do you sit? Are you like over there? Yeah, that sounds like this. Okay, step one, fill out your goal sheet. Where are you? Are you there? Let me grab one from the middle. Right behind your little feet there, Carl. I'm gonna squish you.
I mean, I didn't see it, but I might just like stay on.
There you go. There's one chair. I gotcha.
Over 3 hours. It was 3 hours and 1.
There you go. You're very welcome.
At 10 p.m. on
All right, please start by filling out your goal sheets. They're inside your folders. Yeah. Yeah, do you have your planner? Fill it out.
No. Can I borrow some?
Let you borrow mine, but it has disappeared. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, start working on the script today. I think they got started hopefully last time.
One, work on dinner.
Oh, you're gonna have one. President's gonna go
Hey Jacob, when you get settled, could you slide it over so she can see it too? So, no, Morgan. Oh, yeah. So Morgan can see. Good problem solving.
It's doing Jefferson. It's doing. Wait, what's your correct name?
Lana, do you have another computer you can take out so you can see as they're working on it too? Have you shared with everybody? Yeah. You guys are going to need a computer on your side too so you can see what's happening. Oh, do you have one already? Well, you're going to want your Instagram project out as well. Yeah, you'll want.
Yeah, I'll get my.
Take out your notes, Aaron. Take out your notes.
I hurt my hand yesterday, and I keep on bumping it, and like it hurts really bad.
Oh, no, I got a bruise right. Look at that. Let me show you
this.
bruises. Ouch. Look at my bruise.
Wow.
I don't know what I did.
Yeah, I dropped a music stand on my hand, and it hurt pretty bad.
I can see why. You can say that. So does someone have a laptop you can have on your side so you can see what's going on? I have a charger for you if you need it. Bella, do you have one or is yours dead too? Okay, I'll get you a charger. Bill, yay! Were you doing the science test?
Yeah, I have a.
Thank you. Yay, they're gonna happy to have a full team today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Your first time you what type of nonsense?
Here you go, just for somebody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lily, you want to plug it in for me? There's a spot like in the corner over there, just like where the microwave is.
Wait, so what do I say?
Should he say Eli? I think I lost the email.
Do you need your dinner for your Instagram project so you can see it, your Instagram project, so you know the content?
Can I just get my dad's?
Yeah.
And then I can go, and then as soon as I'm done saying how I'm doing, I can just say, because the population in the territory. And then we can continue off that with the conversation on the population and then how my journey went to talk just about taxes and how we didn't get enough taxes for our journey.
Nice. So is this kind of your visual to map out your plan? I like it. Good job. Do you feel like you have a game plan to get it started, or are you still trying to put those pieces together? You've mapped out your categories. These are what everybody had. Yeah. Do you have some overlap as well?
Yeah, the Louisiana Purchase Order.
Okay. That might be a place to start, is just kind of think historically, and you can get the help from your team, put them kind of in order maybe, and then kind of develop a path that way for the conversation. See if that helps.
Have you been recently?
Good job, you guys. Is this still kind of the introduction, or are you starting to get into the content now? Do you have a plan on how you're going to flow from one topic to another? Have you thought through that yet? Considering you're all giving me a blank stare, that might be where you start, is trying to figure out on a separate piece of paper what the flow of the conversation and topics will be. And if you could think chronologically, that would be helpful too. It's kind of to help guide that thought.
It was the big expansion of the U.S. territory.
U.S. territory. It was the biggest expansion of the U.S. territory, of the U.S. territory, of the United States, of the.
Do you guys have your projects out that you can reference as you're putting the
I've
details
got
together?
mine.
You want to have those handy so you know what you can add, or at least your notes. Good job. Is that like your little game plan of how you're going to go through them? Nice. Is there any thought to like chronological order, or are you just kind of jumping around based on who's talking?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's fine. You don't have to do it that way. Looks good. Good plan. Yeah.
Could I have my Instagram project? Just the one of Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who's eligible to everything that we have written? Ripkin, who are you?
Was that the same document you shared last week?
Yes.
What happened to it?
I wasn't here.
So did you not start the script last week with that?
They raised their hands, but there's one thing.
Yes.
So do you have your game plan? Are you figuring out how you're going to organize your conversation?
Okay, so you're Thomas Jefferson. Especially how you said it. Sure, who are you?
No, I should ask them the question. I should be like,
know Jefferson probably should ask these questions because he's the head
Can I ask a question? Is this kind of your flow of conversation, or are you just trying to map out who has what? Are you going to speak like that in the order of those topics?
Oh no, this
Not
is just
necessarily.
everyone's topic.
what we're doing and who we are.
And then we start like who has the same.
Good. So how do you know what the first topic's going to be?
We're trying to figure that out.
Okay, gotcha. And I'll come back to you.
The first topic should be the one that most of us have.
So do you have a flow or a game plan to how you're going to introduce topics? Like what order you're going to do that?
Kind of. And I've got a British accent, some Samuel Slater from Great Britain.
Very nice.
So, got a nice
I'm hoping
little-
you'll put that on during the dinner party.
Yes, I will.
See, did
Sure thing.
it set taxes because Hamilton proposed it?
I don't know.
It helped Hamilton.
You're the one that
propose
studied this guy.
tax work.
You can have your Instagram projects out in front of you so you've got that content. I mean, you don't need to reinvent this.
Say that Whiskey Rebellion.
I can't do it. No.
Oh, I've got your paper copy, Abby. Do you want that instead?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hey, well, I'm going to move your crutches just as I'm moving around. I don't fall. I'll just put them off to the side here.
Am I talking about maybe you actually No. Okay, so flowchart, guys. That one you mean? It's like lead.
Was there a problem sharing with it?
Miss Susie, my pencil won't.
Who was the originator of the document?
Just like a
It was, I don't know. It might have been Kira.
Did you look in your Outlook for the link, Karen? Go to 365.
What's this thing you do?
Oh wait.
There's, right, is that? Was it from Ripken?
That's why I use these pencils, because trust me.
There you go.
Every time I press open, it doesn't do anything. This pop-up block. Turn the pop-up block.
Yeah, always click to that. Always. Now try it. There we go. Hopefully that's the right one. Yeah.
Else took my other pencil.
No.
Well, give it a second to load.
Okay.
Oops.
Miss Susie,
Do you need a pencil? There you go.
it's like broke. Can you fix it?
I know. Just like click it till it stops.
So does everybody else have the document open that has typing on it? Yeah.
I have this.
Yes, I have it up too.
Can you hit, would you hit share? Please.
So it'll be Hamilton talking to somebody.
And then type Sawyer.
I'm just gonna write Ham.
S-A-W-Y-E-R, yeah. Let's resend it to her and see. Kira.
It's Kira G. Sawyer, right?
Yep, send. Okay, give it a second to go, Kira, and then try to check your email again, see if it went in there. There's Nina Power.
I didn't
Right behind you.
Yeah, we should probably do that. And then there's
Let you take it from there. You can plug it into the wall.
Rachel.
No, I didn't.
Well, it's stuck. It's like,
Okay, so Jefferson was like,
Why am I saying something?
purchase how like the animals and stuff like that of the.
How is that? I can start talking. Oh, he came back.
Okay, and then from that. Hello, gentlemen.
Oh, wait.
It wasn't
Change it to a comma and then change argue to arguing here to I.
What? I get what you mean.
Comma.
Oh, comma. I argued at the stage.
No.
I argued at the stage.
Argue.
It's like I propose that the new national government pay off the debts, arguing that the states had bought the national.
That seems worse.
It's two different things. Oh.
This flow right, but how it
I think the comma worked, but the arguing did not.
I like how you guys are working together on this. Good job.
It's a homage.
Eli, you're up.
Should I talk about the success of the national government? Like how independence
Who changed the
Good. Looks like you guys have a direction. Moving in the right. Good. How are we moving? Abby, I need you to put your book away, please. What are we stuck on? Nothing? Alexis is adding her piece. All right.
You should read our introduction.
I'll hear it. Is it good? Very good. So this is, do you have your Instagram pulled up?
No.
So that's what, is it on your laptop? Oh, where's your laptop? Do you have your Instagram project on it?
Yeah.
That's why you don't need to reinvent anything. You've got all the information on your post, so that's what you can start plugging in for your content. Is that working? Do you use your notes like that?
Take it off.
I'm gonna be the one that answers.
Wait till later on.
I can't open my Instagram.
Miss Susie, how do you have an idea to introduce talking about things? Because this is all we've done.
Ask a question.
So, Francis, how are the mills going?
Yes. Okay.
So, have you kind of figured out why you're together? Has there been any thought or communication on why you've gathered?
Why we've gathered?
No, when you're in your script, like why have those 4 people come together? Have you thought about that yet? As kind of a way to
To
introduce.
share their ideas.
All right, maybe.
To inform each other.
The president invited them
The president picked them.
to learn about all the aspects.
Yeah, that might help if you kind of give yourself a lens for why, a reason why you've come together. That might help a little bit to determine that. Do you
Okay, so you can ask a question, because he's Alexander Hamilton.
Why are you here?
So you can just be like, so Francis, how's it going in the mills? Oh yeah, I fell over that 2 days ago.
Oh, scary.
There are people at this table.
Yeah. Good. That might help if you have a focus of why you've come together. Erin, you're with them?
Yes.
Okay, Alexander Hamilton. Ask the question.
I am Thomas Jefferson. This is my good friend, Ralph.
Do you have your notes or your Instagram project so you have the content to contribute? Okay, yeah. So have that handy. Good.
How many times are we supposed to talk during this?
It's making there's no number. It's again making sure that you've covered the historical information for your topic. So you just want to make sure you've covered what you covered in your Instagram post. So however, whether you do that in longer bursts or shorter ones, there's no number. But the information is what needs to be there.
Oh, wasn't it like
the
train guy? Oh, he wasn't the train guy? No. Wait, that was my guy. Well, he designed the train engine and the
Tell me if that gets too cold. Tell me if that gets too cold.
I don't get too cold.
It's feeling kind of stuffy in here.
You need to bring up agricultural something. You need to talk about how you gave space for agricultural and how you opened new opportunities.
You just have your Instagram projects handy so you know the content that you're plugging in there.
On the other hand, my action.
So your notes, your outlines, you have it on there. Okay, good. Because that'll help. You don't have to reinvent anything. You've got everything there.
It's James Bond, diplomat. Is he a diplomat?
Well, he was the president at one time, but yeah.
Good.
Hi, Cole. Thank you. Yep.
Is he like a diplomat or ambassador?
Oh no. I don't know the answer to that. At the time, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it says future president, but it doesn't say what's
Oh,
his.
you know, I can answer that question for you.
So it was like
I, President James Cole.
We did another activity on that. It's a different class, and I think he's mentioned in here as Monroe. Is that who you're asking me about?
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't say what his role was then. You could just say like representative. Are you trying to find a word to describe him? Yeah, that would probably work.
Stop typing.
It makes sense that they're getting on the other part. So it's probably easier to just say that which helped the citizens and say that it gave more space for
Two M's.
imagery.
It's harder to type when people are watching you.
How expensive the big Louisiana purchase? You could talk about what happened.
I feel like we should probably direct this. But you have to talk about space. Not space.
I allowed.
Is Thomas going to elaborate on what his plan was, or is someone going to do that? So you say that his plan benefited, but there's no details about what his plan included. So who's Thomas Jefferson? Is that one of your topics, Bella? So can you remember what were the things he did as part of his economic plan? Yeah, include that. That would be helpful. You don't have to do it in that same line, but maybe include it again. Be specific about what he did. Good.
I'm going to talk about population. And then how
Why is that necessary?
Can you say what you did? And then she said, I also.
You need to make the people's things like
Can I change blue to white?
yes, I make it gold.
Or
Why the heck did you think it were not bold?
We switched the topic.
What the heck?
Wait, how long does the script have to be?
It's again that idea of making sure you're including the details from your Instagram post. So if you can say you've gone, you want to get quite a bit of that in there. Yeah, that's providing the adequate historical information. So there's no magic number. You just need to make sure you're covering your topics. But that sample that you saw at the beginning was about 2.5 pages total. Yeah.
This is not
Going very well.
Oh, yeah.
And have you should say they're going very well. What are you producing in the middle? Lots of. I don't know what you're producing. Ow, look.
I'm pretty sure it's producing like. Are you just gonna set something?
Can you see what
Yeah.
if I have an 8 how'd you get onto this? Okay. Stop.
I only got to watch 5 minutes.
Kind of want to work on it a little bit.
All right, can I interrupt, please? Some of your voices off. In 3. Wrap up your conversation in 2. My turn now, please. All right, if you'll direct your attention to the board, thank you. There's one last thing I'd like you to accomplish today, and this is to give us some reflection on where we are, how we're doing. You definitely were digging in today, so that's good. You got past, I think, that hurdle of how do we really start this thing now, and I'm starting to see some good conversation and content going in there, so that's great. There are 3 questions I'd like you to address on this exit flip, and no, I do read these, and it gives me a good sense of where we are and what questions are out there that you haven't necessarily asked yet. So question number 1, do you have any concerns regarding being able to provide that accurate historical information? Question 2, at this point, how would you evaluate your own collaboration efforts? And those are the words I was trying to think of earlier. Essential, my role has been essential. Adequate, limited, or inadequate. If you are on the below standard side, my question for you, how are you going to fix that? What are you going to do differently tomorrow? And then number 3 is just a spot for you to ask anything you're just unclear about at this point. So that'll give me an idea of how you're doing. All right, please make sure to put your name on it. All right. Oh, whoops. One short. Yep, everything stays in your folder, except the exit flip. Yeah. Go ahead and put your rubrics in the folder. Go ahead and put your Instagrams in your folders too. No, just answer. Thank you. I think seems like there's more than 4 right there.
Wait, no.
Thanks, lots, guys.
All right, please turn your efforts to your exit slip, please. They're on your desk now. You do not have to do IQIA on this one.
All right, here's your computer. Here's your computer.
What are your Does adequate mean like average?
Yeah. Well, maybe a little. And you've met the expectation. Karen putting that in here too.
What is that?
Aaron, voice off, please. Karen, what was your question? Good. Yeah, like good. Like a good plus. Yeah, that's meeting standard.
What does the first question mean?
Do you have any concerns about being able to meet that standard on the rubric about supplying historical information?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to pack up your folder for me and stick everything in there, Carl, your rubric, or not Carl. Sorry, ahead and put it in there and I'll grab it. And that other piece of paper if you want it in our page.
Chris, what are you still doing?
Thank you.
That's very distracting. What?
Get your folder, thanks. Do you want to put your rubrics in here so we can keep them all together? Your rubrics. I mean your assignment sheet rubrics. Yeah. Stick them on there. Christopher, can you help? Thank you. You need to be an octopus. All sorts of hands. Jalen, when you get a second, can you pack up your folder and I'll take it? I'll get them in just a second. You can just kind of leave them in the front. Go ahead and put it in there. Lana, you can keep your notes in your group folder if you want. All right, nice job today. You can leave the desks as they are. Please put your exit slips in the middle. I'll come by and grab those. Make sure your names are on them. Great job today.